Right, I think we are live. Hello, hello, hello. If you guys have got questions, drop them down below. I will answer them. I'm just going to make sure we're actually going live onto the Instagram. So give me 2 seconds. And I've got some coffee. So if you've got your Amazon questions, drop it down below. VAs or business in general, I can do that. I'll give you an update on my business. Let's have a quick look. How's it been today? I was doing some repricing work, actually, if anyone wants to know. Steady, we're at 70k. There you go, you can see that 70k for the week. Still 34% down on last year. Profitability is up, though. Happy with that. Everyone loves a bit more profit. Oh, look, sexy graph sideways. Everyone can see that sexy graph. That's like 250. Is that for the month? Last 30 days. Yeah, 245. Look, you can see sales have been going up, and this is the UK, by the way. You can see they're kind of like trending upwards, or they're like, yeah, they're going like, you're getting the right way. You get the point. I think you get the point. That's the important thing. Yeah. So if you've got any questions, let me know down below. But obviously, sales are going well, and I've been doing some work on my repricing, which I'm really happy with as well. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just showing your questions below. Fantastic. It helps if I can actually spell. Obviously, we are now live on the Instagram as well, I believe. So really big hello to anyone on that as well. A couple of questions coming in. 911 Royman says, hi. Hey, 911 Royman. How are you getting on? So Chris Mitchell has popped in. Good question, Chris Mitchell, and thank you for joining. I hope I can help you out. So are you is that horse right? Oh no, I thought there's a horse in between you for some. I don't know why. I'm not gonna go. But I'm finding it hard to manually source deals currently using Hot Deal. Very normal. If you've just started, I'm going to share a top tip for you. I should really create a download cheat sheet. 2 things I'm going to recommend. If you're on my YouTube channel right now, just do this. Go onto Google, it's really bad. fasttrackfba.com/FTF-bio. I'm going to put it in here. www.fasttrackfba.com. I'm going to put it here /FTF-bio. I should really make a shorter URL for it. So if I just put it right here, go to that web link. That will load you up to like if you're on Instagram or anything, you'll be able to access this. It's just on my kind of like profile page. And then you want to download my top 100 supplier lists. That really helps. Now, that's going to be helpful. Focus just on those top 100 suppliers. Obviously, I'm guessing you're probably UK, if that makes, or could be UK, hot UK deals. Now, the other one, which I'm really going to recommend, which actually might be a bit more beneficial, and I think it's a really good tip for anyone just starting, is don't start with the supplier. I know I've just given you the supplier list or the online arbitrage. Actually do this instead. Go get your sourcing tool like SAS, we really like. Go over to Amazon first and start trying to find products on Amazon that you are ungated in that you can sell. That's the biggest challenge. Go find all those products first. Just like, don't even bother looking for suppliers. I want you to find like 20 different products, preferably 20 different brands. Doesn't have to be different categories, but at least different brands which you can sell. Then what you want to do is you want to go find all the products of that brand within that category. So if you can sell, for example, like hotel chocolates, well, that's grocery section, and that'd be the hotel chocolate. So then you go find all the ASINs for that hotel chocolate in Amazon. You just type on hotel chocolate, and Amazon will give you the big list of all the products. Nice and simple. And then you reverse source all of them using Google. So right mouse click on the name, right mouse click Google. Don't bother starting with the supplier. Focus on the Amazon products first. I really, really recommend that. If you're still struggling, go to Fast Track FBA website, go to the little chat window and say, hey, I'm struggling, I've just started. Any advice? You can book in for a 3 sourcing tool, top tips and tricks that I taught my sourcing team, and they'll teach it to you as well. It just takes like 15, 20 minutes, but they talk you through. And it's a free kind of like call that my team do, so that we do for new sellers. So that's just go to the chat window and say, hey, do you have any advice for new sellers? Do you have Tom says you got a free call, and they can book you in. So Chris, I hope that makes sense. Obviously, well done for starting. It takes time. Don't worry. It's going to be difficult. I promise you that, but you will get there. Let's kind of jump through. Rayan, hey Rayan, online arbitrage is a profitable business model. I hope so. Otherwise, I've got nearly more than $4 million worth of losses right here. So I really hope so. Let's go. Royman, 114,000 US dollars month to date. I don't know the numbers. I don't really get my numbers. I should. Oh no, stop doing that, Tom. I got my computer is hot in here again. 29 degrees C. But I'll show you This is November's figures. This is from my ops manager. So you're smashing it, honestly. Really, really well done. 114,000, six-figure seller. Respect to you, by the way. Really, really good. Look, we're only like, what, 140,000, I think. You can probably, this is my ops manager, he sent it to me. You can probably just see it there, that line there. It's about 140,000. So it's like, honestly, respect. Absolute massive respect. 911 Roy, man. Keep up the great work. Guys, if you are on Instagram, I will let you know I can see you. I have another screen right here. That's why I keep looking this way, because I can see the old Instagram. Give me 2 seconds. I'll show you. Wait for it. There you go. If you're on Instagram, I can see you. Drop your questions down below. I can see you. Mr. Cand, Urkan Vaz has joined. Fantastic. This week I'm trying out this time. And let me know if it works out for you. So Roy, man, I've not yet implemented what you teach, so growth will be massive once this is done. Roy, man, let me know what you're talking about in regards to teaching. Maybe I can give you I'll do that. Maybe I can talk about sequencing. By the way, doing teaching is really important, but I think also doing it in the right order is very important. So let me know what you're thinking of implementing. Just brain dump, hi Tom, this is what I'm thinking of doing. I'll be do that, and I'll kind of give you some top tips, and also you can watch the replay back. So hopefully I can help, kind of give you some advice from going from 100,000 to $250,000. And hey, maybe even saving you some time and hassle. That'd be my top point. Chris Mitchell, yeah, UK, you got FBA multi-tool. Fantastic. FBA multi-tool is cool. I like SaaS. We have all of them. So really, really good. Well, we got 9. Best Buy works for gating. Not that I'm aware of. EE distribution. I don't know why you're asking me. You're doing 100,000. You should know this. EE distribution in the US. Frontier Co-op people use. Best Buy maybe. I don't know. Although 911 Roy, I think you know what you're talking about, so I'm not going to worry. I'm sure you're kind of giving advice rather than trying to ask a question. Let's kind of go through. Chris Mitchell, I used your link. Lol, fantastic. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, really, really good. Andy Hendry. Hey, Andy, how are you getting on? Honestly, I'd love to see the desk. You need to share it in the group, how your desk is getting on. Also, if anyone's on Instagram, let me know. I can see you down here. If you've got questions about Amazon selling this week, if you haven't been watching my social media channels, we've been doing a lot about Rome with Aroma. I interviewed him 2 weeks ago. Really good seller, very interesting. Lived in a car for a long time, but absolute hustler. Now 7 figures. Massive respect to him. Travels the world, and he salsa dances just like me. But Andy, let me know how you're getting on. How is life with you? How is Q4 going? That's what I'm really interested in. Q4, how's it going? Who have we got? Rah. In my first month of selling, sold over 50 units. Oh boy, is it finding deals here. I'm going to do the free call. Yeah, it is. Don't get wrong. Of course it's hard. That's where we really add value. Across the whole Amazon space, buying a product, shipping a product to Amazon, selling it, there's no real value there, is there? The value comes in our ability to find cheap products. We've all done sourcing. It's when you go to look for a product, if you could literally just type in any old website and in 10 minutes find a deal, there'd be so much money to it, but you can't, because the websites versus Amazon aren't that. They are more expensive generally, but they're not that much more expensive. They're more than twice the price. So as a result, that's where we bring value by looking at it. So I think it's a really, really good point. So yeah, booking that free call. My team can help out with what's going on. Also as well, look at fast track FBA leads. You could do that. I think that's a really good point. Let's kind of go through how much experience, budget, growth. Oh, by the way, Ra, if there's anything you got questions with, let me know down below. And by the way, guys, if you are on the Instagram, I can see it down here. So 2 seconds. Let's kind of go through. So Chris, how much experience, budget, growth before looking to sell the USA like yourself? I know, yeah, you are massively jumping ahead of yourself. So people ask this question all the time. And by the way, look at shiny object syndrome. And I'm not saying you're getting shiny object syndrome. I'm saying generally people do, myself included. So I want to kind of go slightly off tangent, and then I'm going to come back. So first things first, I run a UK business, 3 million. It's 3.4. A USA business, 1.2 million. And I run Fast Track FBA. Across all 3 companies, we probably have 75, 80 staff. So quite a lot. And I'd like to think I have quite good systems and procedures. And I've always said for the whole of this year, I was going to start in Germany. And I've got other things that I want to focus on. And do you know what? My goal for next year is to do nothing, as in nothing else. It's just to build these businesses, make them better, make it work. And to make that work. And I think that's really the most important point. So, and the reason why I tell you that story is because hopefully you think that I'm quite or hopefully when you look at me, you think I'm quite organized and have reasonable things. And if I'm saying like, I think I'm jumping ahead of myself too much now, there's so much I can still do in my current operations, then maybe you'll look at that and go, hey, maybe I need to focus on the UK. And I think for probably 1 or 2 years, definitely. So before I move into another operation, what would be my measure of success? And I think I'd do that. FBA Gangster has joined on Instagram. Hey, FBA Gangster, where are the dogs at? They're all here. I'm so not gangsterish, honestly. Sorry. I'm very like English. I hope you understand that. So Javi's 2008 said hi as well. So what's my measure of success? Well, I'm a big metrics guy. My measure of success is that not only can my business maintain itself where it is now, but it can continue to grow, preferably at a double-digit rate every year, if not more. And I can do that in less than 5 hours a week. That would be my measure. So if you're going to run a business, and obviously you've got to be profitable and you've got to be able to take enough money out of that business to pay yourself. Now, if I was going to be you when I moved from the UK to the US or started it, what did I kind of think about? My one kind of internal thing, I have to make 5 figures of profit per month. I have to be able to do that on less than 5 hours a week. And the business has to keep growing. And you could call it 5% per month. 555. Tom's new rule, 555. I think that's a good metric. FBA Gangster is laughing 100%. I would laugh at me. I'm so not gangsterish at all. But I think the idea has got to be that you are, when you grow a business, the business you can grow on less time. Otherwise, you are part of the business. You're not able to be operationally externally from it and an owner. So, Chris, I hope that makes sense. But if I was going to be you, what would I recommend? I'd probably say the same. 5 figures. 5 figures grow net profits per month. I would look at a team running the business for me, and you can operate in 5 hours a week. That'd be it. If you can do that, then I'd say, yeah, go to the USA. Why? Because if you can do that and you're making 5 figures a month from the UK, guess what? When you start in the USA, you're now dumping 5 figures net profit a month into it. That's going to be huge. You're going to hit this soon. But if you're starting USA and you're only putting in 1 or 2,000 a month, or like 500 a month, 2,000 a month, it's going to be so slow. So slow. So, yeah, I think it... FBA Gangster on Instagram says, you're more smart like Mr. Bean. Thank you very much. Mr. Bean's very smart. He is very good. I have been compared to Mr. Bean before. Let me know down below if you think I'm like Mr. Bean. My girlfriend is laughing right now. She's like, haha. So, by the way, budget, I think, if you're going to start, minimum 10,000, but if you can make 10,000 a month, you can jump into it. You're on fire. Trust me, you're going to do it. And at the end of the day, our job isn't to scrap for scraps. Our job is to make cash. When you invest money back into a positive cash flowing business, starting a business up is super hard. I promise that. Let's go through. Ursula Khan. Hi. When ungating, do we need to take pictures showing all 10 units or invoices? I think it's just one. Just one. Literally, it's one unit, 6 sides, bottom and top. And then also take one with like a couple with the receipt next to it so that people can see that as well in case they ask. And then the other one, which I'd say is what's the other one? Yeah, and that's it. You don't need to take one of all 10. That's it. I hope it makes sense. Chris, Ursula, let me know if that answers your question down below. Chris, you are right. The USA marketplace is huge. But so is the UK marketplace. While we think the UK is smaller than the US, you're right. It's still multi-billion-dollar marketplace. Like, it's not stupid. So, yeah. Sonia Sophia. Hey, Sonia Sophia. Hey. Hey, T. T-Dog. FBA Gangster's laughing. It's like, ha. Yeah, I agree. I'd laugh at myself as well. Let's kind of go through. Andy Henry, good thing. Great sales today. Some competitors sold out. Woohoo! I'm now getting my price on some wholesale stock. Fantastic. If you want to know, I tweaked my reprices. What am I doing? I tweaked my repricing rule down 1% because my inventory value is going up. We have over £500,000 worth of stock in Amazon UK right now. It's quite a bit of stock. So that's like $600,000 US dollars. So it's quite a bit. So I was like, whoa. Right, let's kind of go through. Sonia Sophia, how are your sales doing for USA during Q4? Good. Like, oh, by the way, this week we've slowed down because I messed up the repricer. If you don't know, I'm playing my repricer massively, but it did mess up. So that is a real problem. One second, I'm just going to refresh my page because no, I think we're still live. Sorry, if anyone on Instagram, it just slowed down for a second. Maybe my computer said no. I don't really know what's going on. So sales in the USA have slowed down a bit, but it's nothing to do with USA marketplace. It's solely to do with me and what I'm doing. That's the more important point. And it's because I've played around with the repricer. We've changed over to the same rules we're doing in the UK. And by the way, if you want to know, there's like 20 rules. So I'm not even going to talk about it. We use a lot of automations and a lot of playing around, but a lot of reporting. It just takes some time. That's the real point. So we will get there, but there's no issue. Profitability is still there. Very, very happy. Let's kind of go through VJOD. Do you have any advice for getting invoices dealing with counterfeit claims? Yeah, even if you're buying from Walmart, for example, do get just literally go to the supplier, Walmart, and say, "Hi, can I have an invoice, please?" And they'll give it to you. In the UK, we do exactly the same thing. We speak to our retailers, our things, and they give us to us. If I put it in perspective, counterfeit claims, we get them. We probably get a counterfeit claim once every week, for example, on both businesses. So one in the UK, one in the US every week. We get quite a lot, and we've managed to clear them all down, every single one of them. Like by getting the invoices from the supplier, Walmart, for example, Argos, and Chase them. Absolutely fine, no problems there. So yeah, not a problem at all. Sonia Sophia, I was reading on the forum, some sellers have no sales or very few this year. Well, that's their problem, isn't it? Like, by the way, everyone's going to moan, and if life is going really well, Sonia, let me ask the other way. Do you read on the forums that sales are going amazingly? Like, this is the best year ever for Amazon sales, even when COVID struck, and it was probably the best year ever for Amazon sales. No one was writing this is the best year for Amazon sales. Everyone was complaining about something. So human nature, we like to complain. So I would see that. The one thing I'd say is always look at yourself. Now, there's two metrics I would kind of think about if you are going to look at yourself. Number one, obviously look at revenue, profitability, fine, no problem. The other one I'd really look at is you can go to Amazon Seller Central, inventory, you can go to business section, and then you can go to business reports, and then it's sales by child ASIN. I think that's the one you're looking for. And when you do sales by child ASIN, the really good thing about sales by child ASIN is it gives you what does it do? It gives you basically the number of people who viewed that ASIN, which is data you never get anywhere else. So if you think your sales, maybe you're like, if you think your sales are going down, then it might be the case that you're not winning the buy box. Well, if that's the case, it could be that the ASIN itself is still getting the same number of views, but you're not winning any of them. It's just a funnel metric. So if you can still track the number of views, you're on for a winner. So my real top tip for you would be check that business Seller Central. I think it's reports, business reports, and then it's by child ASIN, sales by child ASIN. You'll set a date range like do this week versus 2 weeks ago. Look at the SKUs that you were selling. Look at the number of views. Make sure it's the same date range. And if the views are down, then you could say sales are down. But if the views aren't, then you're generally fine. So I hope that kind of makes sense. 1 second. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I will answer them. And if you guys are on the gram, I can see it. I'm right here. I am answering that. So I'm watching as well. It's very hot in my apartment today. I should probably get some aircon going. So, Sonia, I hope that answers your question. Let's go and jump through. Facebook user. Hi, Tom. Hey, Facebook user. Let me know if there's any questions I can answer for you. So, kind of jumping through. 911 Royman. Before I answer, I need some coffee. Need coffee. I read your question while I was reading the coffee. It's good. 1 second. So, I'm curious to know if your fast track FBA business makes more or less than your Amazon business. Really good question. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You've got to kind of realize. So, like, if I give you a really good analogy, last year, Q4, my Amazon UK business on its own did 400,000 in sales. Now, I won't tell you the exact profitability on it, but we did really well. 400,000 sales in 1 month, fantastic. Now, December in Fast Track FBA is typically a bad month. We don't do much. So Amazon UK made more than Fast Track FBA. January came though. We still actually did pretty well in sales-wise. We cleared a lot of old stock down. But Fast Track FBA had a big promotion on VAs, and if you are thinking about getting a VA, I really recommend that. January is a great time to do it because you've got the money, you can now invest and start building your team. And because we did that promotion, Fast Track FBA did better than my Amazon business. Why? Because we sold a lot of VAs. Now, what you've got to realize is that I don't need as much revenue in Fast Track FBA as I do in Amazon business to get the same amount of profit. Why? Because the service company is, time for money equation, whereas a trading business is about margin on a product we're flipping. So they are different, but sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But there's pros and cons, and the reason why I do Fast Track is because I love to share. Hopefully you understand. And also number 2 is we can help other people. And number 3, the reason why I started at the very beginning, if you really wanted to know, and I talked about this at the very beginning of Fast Track FBA, because we start with the lead service above everything, was that I didn't like the way people were doing online arbitrage leads. I just thought they were really bad, and I didn't think it was fair on Amazon sellers. So hence why I said, no, I'm going to create my own company, and I'm going to do it my way. That was 3 years ago. Now it's not too bad. I get to speak to you guys. #excited. Let's jump over to Instagram. So 911 Boyman, hope that makes sense. Instagram, we've got Miss Bin. Hey. Jack Knowles has joined, 17. Hey, Jack Knowles, good to see you. How are you? I'm good, thank you. I've got over my food poisoning. That was on the weekend. Quite happy. It's hot in here. Mexico City's hot. I hear the UK is quite cold. You should come over. I still need to reply to your message. I will do it, I promise you. But yeah, you should come over. Nice and warm. It's beautiful. Right now, if you want to know, the daytime, the evenings are 10 degrees C. Night times are 10 degrees C, middle of the night. Daytimes are 23. Still shorts and t-shirt weather. That's what I'm wearing right now. Who else have we got? Saurish1. Hey, this is on Instagram, by the way. I can see her. Saurish1 says, will you have a promotion on the VA again in January? So long story short, if you do hire a VA right now, in regards to right now this month, anything we've always done in January, we always honor the people who have gone through the process in December. We don't want to discourage you to say you wait. No, if you want to buy one now, get one now. We'll support you. And we've always backdated that promotion to people in December. So if you are thinking about getting a VA, don't bother waiting until January if you think it's going to be a promotion. By the way, this is the Fast Track FBA VA Academy 2.0. Down here, fasttrackfba.com/VA. It's coming up now. Here it is. So you can see that they get /VA. Now, we've always wanted to make sure the customers in December are supported, so they'll get the same promotion as well. We'll retrospectively do that. And Saurish1 on Instagram said, will we have the same promotion? I think this year we're going to do something, or next year, sorry. But really what we want to do is just make sure that you get a really great package. And at the end of the day, it's not going to be a price discount. So you're not going to get it discounted, but it will be about supporting you going into your business going forward. At the end of the day, I'd rather see you make $1 million than save £200 off the price. And that's what we're here to do. So, and then Jack Noel says, sounds lovely. I may have to take you up on that. -1 in the UK. I feel for you, Jack. I really feel for you. Let's kind of jump through. Facebook user, do you think your USA business will overtake your UK business eventually? If you'd asked me 6 months ago, I would have said yes without a shadow of a doubt. I now say, because we're struggling to get financing from Amazon, and that was one of the strategic things we did, I think I can solve the problem. Q1 objective, here I come. But until I solve it, I can't answer that question. And why do I say it? Because my Amazon UK business, we're probably going to get $1 million in financing from Amazon eventually if we keep growing. By the way, we've gone down, we're going back up again. Amazon is still offering loans. We're still doing well. And now we're in a much better place. By the way, my Amazon UK business right now, while it's doing less revenue, is in a much better place where it was a year ago. So we're in a much, we've been doing our framework. We've really supported it with the growth. We know exactly what is going on. So that makes sense. So I think the UK business will continue to grow. I did say something scary. I will just drop it out there now. Don't hold me to it. I said something this year to my ops manager in the UK who runs my Amazon businesses. I was like, hey, mate, 3-year goal. How do you fancy 20 million across 2 companies? He's like, sounds good. I was like, okay. So watch this space. I don't, 8-figure sale would be cool, but again, you want to be profitable. I think that's a really important point. So we'll see how it goes. Sora said, I think you had an offer on the USS sheet. Will that be included again? No, we've never done an offer with the USS sheet ever. The USS sheet's amazing, but we've never done an offer with it. So yeah, we've never done an offer with the USS sheet in that respect, ever. I really don't do offers. I normally kind of bundle something in extra, but I never do discount price ons. Really, because we think the products are really good as they are, and they really have balance. So Saurish on Instagram, from ourselves has already got 2 VAs, and so looking to get another 2. Fantastic. By the way, book them in just before January. Any offer we do in January, you'll get retrospectively. And by the way, it means you beat the rush. If you do it a bit late in January, you're going to meet everyone else. I think last year we had about 45, 50 VAs booked in, or customers booked in, so that makes a point. So, and your team are great, really professional. Sorish, I just want to say thank you. If anyone can read that, it's right there. Your team are great, really professional. Thank you so much. And then Jack Noel says, in your opinion, do you think there's a realistic ceiling for revenue in the OK UK marketplace? Is 8 figures achievable? Oh yeah, of course there is. I know someone doing wholesale in the UK doing, I think, they didn't tell me, I reckon it was probably closer to $250 million across Europe. And by the way, I don't think that's wholesale. But I think, I think you can kind of start blending the lines when you do big volumes. Like, by the way, we're not doing big volumes, 4 million. Like, I know I've met some really cool people. I can't say who they are, and I can't even show videos because they don't want to be known publicly. Very, very interesting. And they're in the UK. So, and there are people bigger than me. So I do think 8 figures, no problem. Absolutely fine. Considering in the US, someone's doing 8 figures just selling sneakers, easy peasy. Let's go through JVOD. Any other bits of advice for dealing with counterfeit and IP claim violations? The account got deactivated recently, so a bit demotivated. They normally want 10 units and won't accept retail store invoices. Okay, I'm going to recommend, I'm going to say, don't do anything that anyone says. Speak to a professional. Why? Because if you don't get it right, your account will get completely deactivated and you'll never get it back. fasttrackfba.com/Jeff is one person to speak to, and the other one is Seller Basics. Speak to those two people. They will cost money, I promise you that. It's not nice, but you want to get that account back. It's not like you can open another account up. It's worth just doing. And what you can't do is just go and buy an item tomorrow and send it in because the date's going to be wrong. It's not going to work. So they do check, by the way. Amazon do check. I've seen that before. So I would speak to Jeff or Seller Basics. fasttrackfba.com/Jeff or Seller Basics. I'm going to ask Jack Knowles on Instagram, do you think there's a ceiling? Do you think you're going to be an 8-figure seller? Let me know that. Is there a US suppliers list provide for replan clearance growth? For both? Basically, put it this way, like the supplier list we provide is all the products we've ever bought, all the suppliers sorted by the supplier. That's it. As in, like, these are the suppliers we're using. These are the ones that work. And it could be replens, clearance, for example, but they're the top suppliers. Really, really helps out. Fast Track FBA, definitely recommended. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Obviously, do check the Academy, Fast Track FBA Academy. Do check it out. Andy obviously has used us as well, so really, really like that. Thank you very much, Andy. And obviously, how are you getting on with your computer setup? I bought another monitor right here. I'm well happy. I love having 2 screens. I'm not such a laptop traveler anymore. I actually have another monitor. It's going to go through. Nomi. Hi, Tom. Any chance you know how to get access to account level reserve? My reserve level is nearly the same as my amount I'm being paid, and I'm just wondering if the way to access it earlier. So, short for you, 1 second. So, if I just kind of go through here. So if I'm just saying, so it's called the reserve amount. Now the reserve amount is, the reserve amount is how much Amazon holds you. And unfortunately, unless you've got an account which is like 5 years old, 6 years old, I don't even have one. They won't. They hold 2 weeks worth of payments, and a lot of time that is generally the amount you actually get dispersed. It's an absolute pain, but unfortunately, nothing you can do about it. The only other thing you can potentially do is look at something like. The only other thing you can potentially do is look at that like payability. They do a loan against that reserve amount, so that does work. But it's just really annoying. Amazon is super annoying. I think it might change slightly in the future, but I'm not too sure. But there's nothing you can do. Like, you can only get a loan against it, not for Amazon, from a third-party company, and they'll charge you quite high interest, probably 10 to 15%. Hope that makes sense. And sorry, guys, if you're on Instagram, do drop a question. I am here. I am watching. So I'm here to help you. So John Castillo, I think it is. Get it right, John. So just drinking my coffee. Definitely need coffee. So John says, I suck at Amazon, bro. After not selling 2 things that got sat there, I gave up because I want the money ASAP. I just don't get it, I guess. Really common. Really common. Don't worry. Very, very normal. Now, what can I recommend for you? You've probably done the classic thing. You've spent all your money on 2 products. And we try and say don't spend any more than 5% of your inventory or cash on any one product, so that you have like 20 products. And it might be that you just buy 1 of each, but then when one sells, you'll see it, and then one doesn't sell, you'll be like, why? Now, if they just sit there, it could be the case, a couple of things. Number one, you're not getting the buy box, professional selling account you need. Number two, FBA. And then number three, get the price lower. That'll be the thing. Get the price down, get the price down, get the price down. Then if that isn't working, my top tip for you is it's probably going to be because the product you bought isn't actually selling. There's probably no sales rank for it. It's like over 100,000, which is really bad. So what you're looking for then is, again, to crash the price massively, and it might sell, but it might take a month. I mean, like if you're trying to sell it for $100 or $100 or £100, you might put it down to like 50. And by the way, you're going to lose money, but you might lose like $20, $30, for example, or pounds. But the way I'd look at it is you just got yourself an education. That's it. By the way, we go to university, we spend what, tens, hundreds of thousands on a university education for what? Like literally a bit of paper at the end and a nice celebration and throw a hat in the air. By the way, I failed. So like that's a really interesting point. But I think for you is like, don't worry. Like you probably haven't spent thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. You've probably spent maybe a couple of $100 tops, probably like tens, 20, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100. That's it. Like, don't worry. These things happen. But what does it teach you is the fact that you're trying to learn. And I think the other one is the other one I'd say is it's probably good advice to go through like a free course or something. Like Fast Track FBA has a free course, fasttrackfba.com/ go up to the resources and then free course. Take that, it takes 7 days, really simple. It's going to teach you the little things that you're going to need to know, which will hopefully stop this problem. So check that out, and I think that will really help you and support you as well. So sorry, it does happen. Like, I really understand. CoYGI on Instagram. I can see just joined. Hey, just say hi to anyone on Instagram. Drop the questions down below. John Castello, let me know if that helps you out down below. And by the way, like, this is a business, it's a learning curve. Invest £500, dollars, invest it, make it happen, learn as much as you can. Let's go. So Surface, I've got 2 IP complaints from 2 different brands. 1 second, I'm going to go cancel. So IP complaints are a big issue right now. I'm reading Chris Mitchell down the sort of crew me. I will get to that funding. I like that one. That's a good one. Thank you, Chris. I'll come back to your question in a minute. Surf F, I've got 2 IP complaints from 2 different brands for importing goods into the US and the UK. Which do I do? What do I do? So normal IP complaints do happen. Don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world, but you do want to fight them. There used to be some people saying don't fight them. No, fight the hell out of them. Like, even if they say, oh, it's fine. No, fight. Try and kill them off. Why? Because if you get too many, it's a problem. Like, you really want to fight them. So fight. 1 second. And then that's fine. And then the other one, so I would really recommend for you, we use a company called Seller Basics or Jeff, fasttrackfba.com/Jeff. They're the 2 people we use. Check them out. They work. Like, it's really, really simple. I'd love to know, can you actually access them? 1 second. I'm trying to see if you're on my YouTube channel right now, and you're watching this live. Will it, there we go. I'm live. Is there any link? Right now? 1 second. I'm just going to turn my volume down. Is there any link? Drop your questions down below. I think up the top, it's kind of got pinned message. Yeah, I've just kind of pinned a message. You'll see it on YouTube. It will be at the top of the chat, by the way. fasttrackfba.com, my secrets. Go to that, and then there's tools, and you'll see Jeff down the bottom. So that will kind of help you out. But I think that thing. So they'll help you with your IP complaints. Like, you need the right templates. They'll check it all and make sure it's right. And like, they're going to work majority of the time. You do have to pay. I won't lie, but like, these things is like, unfortunately, there are brands you get a bit protected. So sorry. Let's kind of jump through. What do we got now? Untitled Scott. Hey, Untitled Scott. Why are you untitled? My account level reserve is like 9K. I know, man. Mine's like 64K. It's pain. I wouldn't mind £64,000 in my bank account. I can't. Amazon's holding on to it. It would make my Q4 a little bit sweeter, but welcome to the wonderful world of Amazon. Not nice. What can I do when I get product authenticity complaints? Exactly the same as I just said to Surf F. fasttrackfba.com/Jeff or Seller Basics. Look them up. Tell them I sent them. Like, Tom from Fast Track FBA sent you. Like, just, they'll buy me a pint when I go meet them or something. I don't get any money. Apparently, you can't do referrals for lawyers. It's illegal in the US. By the way, they're a US-based company, but even if you're doing it in the UK, Amazon's a global company. It's the same templates that they use, and they work. We use them both. Let's go. Chris Mitchell, have you heard of a crew me? Chris, And you just mentioned you saw this. I read it down below. It's a funding company you said you were struggling with. I don't know if it's good or bad. Interesting. I'd be very interested to know. Accrue me. Let me have a quick look. Have you looked at them? Do you know them? Accrue me. There's quite a few of them, but I'm really interested in like kind of understanding. Yeah. So they do funding. Absolutely fine. Like the UK, we're fine generally. The US is probably the other ones. I think I've actually met their team. I went to an event in New York this year. I think I met their team or some of their sellers. Yeah, possibly. Thanks. I'll give them a shout out. I'll see what's going on. I think it'll be an option. Right now, my USA business, they're kind of just spending the money. So I don't want to go take debt payments when we don't need it exactly. But if they're really like, oh, we've got so many deals to buy and everything. So see how Q4 goes. Might buy after that. But yeah, see how it goes. Chris, thank you so much. I really like that. I don't know if it's good or bad for you. Big thumbs up. I'll hit the like button for you. Hashtag excited. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this, if you are on Instagram, I can see you. I'm gonna put my Instagram feed up here. If you're on Instagram, I can see it. I'm here. I'm watching. I'm reading. I will answer your questions. So drop your questions on Instagram down below. If you're on Twitch, I can read them. They come up as well. If you're on Facebook, I can read them as well. If you're on YouTube, I think you know as well. I can read them as well. What else have we got? I don't know. I can't do sign language or anything or Morse code, but I am here. But I think that helps. And also as well, like, I'm here. And also hit the like button. I love the like button. Just show me that you like this thing. So if you're on YouTube, give me a love heart, give me a like, give me a heart, that thing. Absolutely love that. Let's go. Let's hit the heart. Cool. Let's kind of go through. So Chris Mitchell, no, you talked about that. That's fantastic. Hey, Tom, I'm really happy with the sourcing VA I got from you guys a couple of months ago. Fantastic. Will you ever guys have the same service as far as admin VA? We will. We do technically have it now. Shh, you didn't hear that. If you speak to my sales and support, they can do it a bit fast track. But we're technically kind of like relaunching it in January. So I'm probably going to do, we basically had so obviously I have 6 admin VAs myself. They do the training and support, but we actually have one person whose sole job it is to organize all the training, make sure the training happens, and do the aftercare support with your VA and work with you just on the admin side. We actually have a team of like 5 who do that role on the sourcing side. So we do have the admin. That will be going, we'll kind of relaunch that again next year. That's going to be, I think, kind of private launch. So it's really going to go for people who've got sourcing VAs already or have a sourcing VA, and I'll probably do a webinar to talk about it like next year in January. So if you guys are interested, obviously we can do that. But again, admin VA, I've got 6 of them. They just save me so much time. Like in the UK, like they get on my invoices, they upload my pricer, they fix all the pricing alerts, customer messages, they deal with all my Seller Central, they deal with all my inventory, my warehouse, they call my warehouse, they call my suppliers, they chase everything up. I do nothing. Like on my accounting side, they do my cash flow, they do my balance sheet, they do my P&L, they report to me every month, they literally have a presentation and they literally sit there and be like, hi, Sir Tom. We're going to now present the cash flow. So for last month, the cash flow shows, and they'll walk me through the whole thing, and then they'll walk me through the P&L, and then they'll talk me through the variances and why and what they've done, and how they've done it all. And I literally just sit there and listen and go, cool, and I ask them questions. It's really nice. And then they'll deal with all the accountants, and then they'll go through all like my VAT returns for me. So they'll do all the VAT and get it all up to date. Then they'll give it off to my ops manager for first draft checking, and then it comes back to me for second. And pretty bad. But I didn't hear that. And then it goes off to my accountants, and they'll deal with my accountants for me. They'll just CC me in. I'm like, thank you so much. Less stuff I have to do. It's a game changer. I absolutely like that. So let's kind of go through. So OP, yeah, we'll definitely do that. Untitled source. How many completeness is too many? I don't know the answer. There is no definitive number. I believe what I've seen from general thing is about a percentage of revenue. So I generally say you're generally okay for one IP complaint per £10,000 revenue or dollars per revenue per month. So if you're doing like 20,000 revenue, you might be okay with about 2. It should be okay. But if you get 3, 4, 5, I'd be a bit worried. I'd be like, not sure what's going on. So just be super, super mindful of that. That would be my worry. So like we do in the UK 1 million or US 1 million, we've got 0 in the UK, 3 million, we've got 3. So we got like 1 per million, or not monthly revenue, but yeah, monthly revenue of generally saying that's the kind of thing. Like I think we've gone up to 8 or 9 and not had problems, and we were doing over 100,000 at that time. So that was like whoa, it all came in, but it still wasn't at warning. So that's what I kind of say. But again, I think his percentage is that. Let's kind of jump through Chris Mitchell. I'm a new member, if that helps. No, cool. What to accrue me? You're a new member to accrue me. Let me know how you're getting on with them if they are. I'd be interested to know. Audible on YouTube, Instagram said it, and CoYG1 has given me a love heart. Hey CoYG, I love it. If you guys, if you want to join CoYG, give me a love heart as well. I love that. Hit the like, hit the thumbs up. Absolutely love it. Drop your questions down below. I will answer them. I've got an hour with you guys. 20 more minutes. Let's do this. Okay, how often do you deal with account suspension ruining your 2 businesses? So if you want to know, I'll be honest, never had my account suspended ever. Touch wood. Should be very careful about that. So we've been very, 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 like, the one thing I said is we cannot afford to have the account suspended, because the account suspended, it's a real critical place. Now, interesting enough, if you want to know, when I first started, account suspension was a lot more common. Now it's quite less common. Like in the last year, it's changed dramatically. But also, in addition to that, what we have done is we've got lawyers on retainer. Every single complaint, every problem, we fight. We want to make sure our Amazon account is perfect all the time. So we've never had it suspended. I have had it whereby they've held my money back, but they've never suspended me. So for 4 weeks, I couldn't withdraw any money, which was super annoying. And they didn't tell me they couldn't withdraw it. Obviously, we couldn't withdraw anything. They were like, yeah, we're just reviewing your account. I was like, yeah, and I can't get any money out. Can I have it back, please? No. So any little tips and tricks to keep it healthy? Yeah, don't buy dodgy brands. Fast Track API, IP checker. And the 2 referrals are really good. And pay for and fight everything. Fight. Just be really mindful. Don't buy dodgy brands. I think Warren Buffett talks it the best, where he talks about, and even Alex Hormozy talks about, like Warren Buffett talks about it. It's like when you're investing, you're not trying to get rich. You're just trying, what's rule number 1 of investing with Warren Buffett? Don't lose money. Rule 2, remember rule 1. That's it. And if I put it in perspective within Amazon, don't lose money. And what do I mean by losing money? It's number 1, don't buy bad deals. Sometimes it happens, but don't go too bad. But then the other one is don't lose the count. Like, it doesn't even matter if you're not making as much profit as you think you would like to. If you lose the account, you're never going to make profit again, because you can't get another account. And I think the real thing I'd say is just be really super mindful of that. That's so important. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't, like, even if you, like, so when you're looking at that kind of like, oh, it's a really good profit product, it's a really risky product, don't do it. It's not worth it. Like, we take that approach. I don't make as much in profit as everyone else, but I feel quite confident in my ability as a business to operate and my team to do it on my behalf. So we're quite risk averse. That's the advice I give. Again, don't try and get rich. Just stay in the game for the long term. You'll be fine. Let's go through. Stack Bands. Hey, Stack Bands. Hey, Tom. In the top right, it shows you do 3 million in UK revenue. How much profit do you make from this? So that's 1. That's 3 million. Obviously, I don't make 1 million and 3 million. I would love it if I did. I'd be driving around my Lamborghini, but unfortunately, I'm not. I'm in my 1-bedroom apartment in Mexico City. Beautiful apartment. Location's amazing. Can't change it. But I quite like the minimalist lifestyle, so I'm all about location. I'm really happy. So if you want to know, this one, 3 million, we do about 5% net, which is okay. It's on the low side of arbitrage. So if you're going to put that as cash value, it's for about 150,000 a year. So good money. You're not going to complain. But if you think about, oh wow, I do 3 million, like you must be a millionaire. Like, no, I'm not. This one, 100 million, is about 10% net. So it is higher, but it's not so much. What you got to realize is, on top of that, you've got to pay personal income tax if you take it as personal income tax. And obviously, a lot of time I just leave the money in the business because I don't need it. But number 2 is the fact that, bless you. And then number 2 is the fact that you have, I have really big teams. Like, I have a lot of staff. We pay for a lot of services. I have 6 admin VAs, like 40 staff probably. And the net result is that I probably run my teams too high in staffing costs. And the reason why we do that is because I really don't want to be doing the work. Like, I'd rather make 50,000 less in a year and not have to do any work. It's kind of like, would you like to earn $250,000 a year working 60 hours a week, or 150,000 a year working 5 hours a week? You're like, I'd rather do the 5 hours a week and not have to worry so much. And by the way, if I wanted to go up and do more and earn some, I can, but I really can't be bothered. But I enjoy doing other stuff, which is fun. I enjoy meeting cool people like you guys. You're really cool. So stack spans, I hope that makes sense. And by the way, those margin percentages, over about 100,000, they'll kind of be about realistic. Under 100,000, you should probably go higher. You can obviously add cash back on, and when you're doing like 1.5 million a year purchasing, quite nice cash back. Let's go through. Untitled Scott, I have 2. I'm in the UK. It's all right. Look, I've had 2 before. It's all fine. I've had 2 negative. My first complaint on Amazon was a 1-star review. It does happen. It's just part and parcel of business. You have the ups and the downs. Don't worry about it. Keep going. Keep going. Guys, if you are on the Instagram, I can see you. You're here. Do let me know. Honestly, got any questions? I'm here to help. I'm here to answer them. I'm going to take my phone out of this case because it's getting super hot. It's 29.7 degrees C in this apartment. 29.7. Jack has been telling me it's currently 1 degree C in the UK. Jack, I do not envy you. So let's kind of go through. Oh, what do we got here? Untitled says, what would you say is a good paced growth? At what amount for sales would you recommend looking for a premises? I'm a bit of a crossroads and we do some advice. I don't know your business. It's a good question. Where should you grow? I think my answer would be is kind of like, I really prefer being flexible, even if it means I'm not making as much profit. And why do I tell you that? Because if you're going to go look for a premises tomorrow, you're probably going to have to sign some kind of lease for the maybe 1 year, maybe 3 year, 5 year, and that's going to commit you for a period of time. Now, I'm not against it, but again, we do it in the Fast Track FBA Seller Academy. We talk about where do you want to be long-term wise. So forget about what the next step in this journey is. Think about 5-10 years out. What does that look like for you? Let me ask you a question. In 5 years, 10 years time, would you be happy in a warehouse? If your life was like, cool, in 10 years time, I've got a warehouse and I've got like 5-6 staff, and we're probably doing like 5 million, for example, in sales on Amazon. Would you be happy with that? Like, would that be something that you'd be like, yeah, I'm happy with that. That feels like a good life to me. Or would you be like, no, if I was doing that, like, I'd really take a bit less revenue. I'd like to have a bit more freedom, maybe to spend with my family. Maybe I don't have to go to the office every day. That could be that I have a warehouse that runs itself, or it could be that actually I'm remote. I'm remote. I do it all online. So again, think about that question, and then that will define about when you want to do it. Now, the one big thing I have done, and I've seen it many, many times, time and time again, for Amazon sellers, is that they go and get like a warehouse, and when they start doing the maths, once they get a warehouse, they do the like hiring the staff, and they get all the machinery, and they do all the things. They kind of go, actually, the cost per unit over the first year is going to be really expensive, and it would have been cheaper actually just get a prep center. So I think my question for you is, because you have to invest in racking, you have to invest in everything. And by the way, you have to invest in staff. That's hard work. VAs are hard enough. I've got 80 of them, let alone hiring staff locally and like managing sickness and UK or US employment laws. I'd really think about that. And I think the question I would just ask you is like, I would probably keep it as lean as possible from a commitment perspective. So even if you're not running as profitable, but you're using your prep center and you're still able to grow, absolutely fine. Maybe it might be the case you get to like 1 million. I know someone who, a friend of mine, I went and interviewed him. He used the prep center up to 1 million a year in sales and then got his own warehouse. But once he got to the own warehouse, he knew it was at a sufficient size that he was going to use 60% of that capacity from day one. Like the moment he was like, cool, got my warehouse, got a business loan, fantastic, and we now know the maths. But he's already built the business. Not he now has to get the warehouse and build the business up. That's hard. So he knew exactly what he was doing. So I think, to be honest, if my advice to you is just keep it lean. Like keep it lean, use prep centers, use stuff until you build up to a point where you're like, I know I want this, and then numbers. Do the numbers. That's what people don't do. They just go, oh, I'm doing pretty well. Should I get a warehouse? It's like way too soon. I think literally, most people like, the people who do it well, they're like, I literally have no more space in my house. Like there is not a single room where I can't do it. And it's like, we need it, and they're about to explode. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Guys, if you're on Instagram, let me know questions. I can see you on my super hot phone. It's really hot in this room, about 30 degrees C. Let me know. Been selling on for 3.5 months. Yeah, 90K in 3.5 months is absolutely credible. Like absolutely incredible, amazing. But outgrowing her loss and her due cash flow now becoming a problem is all wholesale and retail. If you can continue that rate of growth, you might look at a unit. But again, like my question would be for you is like, if you're growing at that rate, you're going to cap out in what? Like if you've got like 1 million in the bank right now, you can invest in this business, you're going to have to get an absolutely huge warehouse to be able, because if you look at your run rate, you're doing like 30, 60, 90, 120, your growth rate is insane. If you sign a contract for even like a 2,000 square foot warehouse right now, in 1 year's time, it's going to be too small. So, like, I hate to say it, like, if you can, and by the way, if you can use other services, by the way, if you can make your life simple, do it. Like, and by the way, when I say make your life simple, what am I talking about? Well, think about use FBA properly. FBA is making your life simple. You're using Jess Whole Fulfillment. Use that. That's the point. Use prep centers, use that. It might not be the most profitable option, but what you do want to do is you want to kind of get your business to a point whereby it starts ticking over. Because right now your growth and making decisions in the growth phase is very dangerous. What you want to do is tick over. So I think you mentioned down here, thanks for the advice, and we're running out of money. Get to the point where you like, okay, we've spent all the money now. We're using prep centers. I'm doing stuff. It's cool. I know now the rhythm. And now you can make tweaks to improve the profitability. So, okay, cool. So you're using a prep center at 50p per unit. What about if I were to do a thing? What's the maths on that? If I barred it all, how much would it cost? Okay, I can now get it for 30p a unit, but I'm now going to have to hire staff, and I'm going to have to be there. So that means I'm going to have to cut down on my VRA side. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, so let's reevaluate that. What I really recommend you do, because right now I'm guessing you're ramping up massively. You're doing also like a lot of sales. And you're really busy, and Q4 is a great time, but Q4 is a really bad time, especially when you first started, to make strategic decisions. Get into a bit of a flow, maybe do 6 months at least 6 months, if not 1 year, get into a rhythm, see what happens, and then be strategic. Hope that makes sense. Guys, if you've got any questions, let me know down below. Untitled Scott just asked me a huge question. Antino Guatano is just mentioned. It says hi on Instagram. I can see it. If you're on Instagram, I can see it. You're down here. I do have the phone. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button. Let me know. Untitled Scott has just bombarded me with questions. Absolutely fine. More than happy to answer them. So do let me know if you've got questions on that. And if there's anything else I can answer for you, just have a quick look to see if I'm missing anything. But obviously, my UK business is good. UK business, US, we've tweaked the reprices slightly. I dropped it down by 1% ROI. So we're just having a little kind of understanding of what's going on there. And then in addition to that, really kind of getting a feel for like what's going on with the business and like, kind of purchasing wise. Actually, let me give you a little update on my team. Let me load up my team and I'll tell you where we are purchasing wise, because they've done check-in. What day is it today? Wednesday. So it's Wednesday. I'll give you a check-in on my team. How much have we spent? Let me just find it. I'm going to find it now. Need coffee. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I will drop them down below. I'll give you an update on my team and where we're at. So my Amazon UK business, hold your breath. Oh, they're doing quite well. So Wednesday, total spend so far, 55,896, and estimated ROI 26.3, happy with that. And we've got about 90k left to spend. So I'm happy with that. That's really good. So, at this rate, there might be about 80k spend for the week. It could be a new record, Watch this space. What do you got now? Amazon USA. 1 second, drinking coffee. Oh, wow, they've actually done okay. So they've spent 15,000 so far. They've got about 5,000 left to spend. Estimated ROI, 38%. Sounds a bit more realistic. UK will probably draw about 20, in the USA probably about 30, 35%. Be happy with that. Untitled Scott. Scott, are you really untitled? Is that untitled in name, untitled in stature, or untitled in you're not Sir Scott? Let me know. So that's another question. Is it, I'm guessing, worth looking into the USA, or should I keep pumping the cash into the UK side of things to keep it going? My God, man, you've been selling on Amazon for 3 months and you really want to start another marketplace? That's kind of like, I'm selling on Amazon and it seems to be going well. Should I start selling on eBay? And why don't I do things as well? Like, you're seeing shiny objects, you're seeing lots of opportunities. Like I talked about this at the very beginning of this live. I really just explained it again to you now. I follow Axel Mosey, and I did it myself, like with this business here. Before we moved to the USA, what was my measures before I started USA? And by the way, I have the measures in place for my Amazon business now, but not for Fast Track FBA. So a couple of things. I think the best way to kind of explain it is, number one, I kind of use the 5-5-5 rule. And by the way, I just made it up literally, and it was cool. So I'm not saying it's perfect. So you should be able to run your business in less than 5 hours a week, and it should be able to grow 5% per month. In Amazon, I'm saying here, not like a service company, and make you like more than 5 figures in profit in Amazon per month. That would be my metrics. I think if you're going to move out into another marketplace, if you can achieve that, you're going to be fine. Why? Why do I say 5 figures, 5% growth per month, 5 figures net profit per month, and 5 hours a week? Why? Because when you start another marketplace, it does two things. Number one, it takes cash to start this business. My God, you talked about it. You're doing massive amounts, but your cash is running out. And the only reason why you're doing good now, by the way, is because you put a lot of cash into this business. So you need that. Now, number two is the fact that if you don't have that cash coming from a source going into your new business venture, USA, then your USA is going to stop. Like if you only put 5,000 in total, not 5,000 a month into your new Amazon business, you got a problem. And why do I say 5 figures per month? Because if you think about 10,000, you pay yourself 5,000, and the other 5,000 go to the UK, for example, or the USA to help that out. So, and then also as well, your business has got to continue growing without you. So what we have seen time and time again, I've seen it with so many people, they hire VAs, they run the business, and it goes down. Don't want that. Your business has got to keep growing without you. So that's why I have an ops manager. I have an ops manager running my 2 businesses. And then the final one you want to do is you do it in 5 hours a week. Why? Because starting another business takes time. So much time. I cannot stress that enough. So with my business right now, UK more, we do the 555, fine. USA, we do the 555, it works fine. Within Fast Track FBA, the problem I have is I can't do it in less than 5 hours a week right now. I spend more than 5 hours a week on YouTube Live with you guys. So I hope that makes sense. So that's my kind of advice. I think keep it systematized until you're growing that. If you listen to Alex Hormozy, he talks about it. He's like, I'm growing so much. His business is growing, and he's really he's making the profit. And I think that's a really important metric. So hope that makes sense. Guys, if you've got any questions, drop them down below. I'm going to answer Untitled Scots. And if you are on Instagram, let me know. But obviously, I appreciate there are other people other than Untitled Scots. If you want to drop them down, let me know. Apparently, it's an unsilly name from his childhood. Untitled Scott, we already have get the ball rolling for all European marketplaces using the pan-EU thing. Not sure if it's worth it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You got to sign up for VAT registration for everyone. It's not going to cost you too much. It's just going to be more administration. You're now going to have to ship all that stock you've got, not just the UK. By the way, you're doing like 90,000. Even if it's 90,000 a month, you're just doing the UK. The UK is a multi-billion-dollar market. There's so much opportunity. Keep growing the UK. Trust me. Don't go and spread out everywhere. You're just going to be like a jack of all trades, master of none. Just keep focusing on the UK. Get your suppliers. Build up supplier credit. Do that. Yeah, and you said you start with about 12K. It's not really shoulders a lot. Yeah, you're gonna, you're eating that cash super quick. And by the way, you're on, I'm guessing 3.5 months. You're on 90K total sales, not 90K per month revenue. That is a difference. That's about 30K per month, which is really good. Really, don't get me wrong. But again, you want to be making profits. You want to be growing this business. I wouldn't be going out across all of Europe right now. I would just be making sure you got the one marketplace running smoothly, operating. You know what you're doing. Don't go and try and do everything else. Lucrative FBA on Instagram. Hey, good to see you. And Untitled Scott. Sorry, I'm replying to you. This fire is delayed. No, don't worry. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, guys, I'm going to pretty much end it there. If you like this live, do hit me the thumbs up. Let me know. And so hit the like button. And I will be back same time tomorrow answering questions to help you out. Obviously support you in your business. So far, I'm pretty happy. My UK business is possibly on for a record gross profit and a spend target this month. So I'm super happy this week. Q4 is heating up. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.